stump. You know, you need like a big stump, and then you put the wood on that you want to chop on, and then I don't know why I'm explaining chopping wood, but anyway, I didn't have a stump. And I don't know where you get a stump in New Glasgow if you don't already have one. I mean, obviously in Toronto, not a problem. There's stump stores all over the place, so it wouldn't be an issue. But here, I mean, I don't know. So I got a line on a firewood guy from somebody, and so I thought, okay, well that's probably a good place to start to find a stump. So I called him and I explained what I was looking for, and he says, why don't you just use a wood splitter? Now, in that moment, I'm too embarrassed to admit that I don't know what that is. So I sort of just brush, yeah, it's whatever. I'm just looking for a stump. And it's then that I get the first of many lessons in Pictou County customer service if you have a phone number that starts with a 416 area code, which is none at all. So that guy didn't call me back. So my second idea was the country store. Not entirely sure what the country store sells. It appears to be boots. But I thought if anybody would have a line on a stump, let's try there. So I go to the country store and I explain what I'm looking for to the woman there, and she looks me dead in the face and says, why wouldn't you just use a wood splitter? At this moment, luckily for me, a customer happens to be walking by and he's overheard the conversation, and he says, you need to go to the sawmill in Westville. The sawmill in Westville sounds like a very promising lead. So off I head to the sawmill in Westville, and I go to their little office, and I go in and I explain what I'm looking for, and they look a little bit puzzled, but they said, well, there's a big pile of stumps at the back of the yard. You're welcome to go back and see if there's anything there. And so, great, thank you. And so I'm leaving the office, and as I'm leaving, the woman shouts, don't hurt yourself. just imagine that some come-from-away comes and breaks his leg on the lumber yard and ruins this poor woman's day. But I go back there, and it is like the treasure trove of stumps. Like every size, shape, beautiful, immaculate. It was a dream. It was a stumpy dream. And so I find the perfect stump, and I put it in the car, and I go back to the office, go in, and so I found a great stump. I'd just like to settle up. She looks at me like I'm a little bit crazy, and she says, we're not going to charge you for one stump. Which, let me tell you, is not at all like the boutique stump stores back in Toronto. That's very generous of you. I really appreciate that. And so I'm leaving, and thanks very much. Off I go, with my new stump. And as the door is closing behind her, I hear her say, not really to me, but kind of more to herself as I'm going. I hear her say, I don't know why he doesn't just use a wood splitter. I'm not handy necessarily in terms of like doing stuff around the house, getting stuff done. I mean, I can usually kind of figure out the simple tasks, but then usually I do something dumb in the middle of it and it all goes horribly wrong. So recently we'd lost something down the bathroom sink. So I thought, well, come on, how hard can this be? There's like that little U-pipe at the bottom of the sink, right? So it's probably just at the bottom of that little U. So you just take that off and you'll just find it, right? Okay. So unscrew it and get it off, no problem. I don't find the thing that we lost down the sink. What I do find is that the pipe is completely gunked with just like however many decades of grossness that's gone down the sink. And I think, well, like while I'm here, I mean, I didn't find the thing, but I'm not just going to put the pipe back on. I should clean this out while I'm doing the job. So I reach above my head to the sink, because I'm right in front of it. The sink that I had just removed the pipe from, just below it. I know what you're thinking. it's so much worse than that. Because I didn't just reach up and turn on the tap. Oh no. No, I reached up and put the pipe with the gunk under the tap. And then I turned it on. So it wasn't just flooding the whole bathroom with water. It was flooding the whole bathroom with water and decades of gunk. That's why I stopped doing plumbing jobs. It's not that I can't do it, it's just that the consequences are significant. I'm getting older, and one of the weird things about getting older is, you know, you pass certain milestones, birthdays, and children, and grandkids, all those things. But one of the things that I've noticed as I get older is often it's the milestones that you don't hit that are sort of notable to you, that you realize, like, oh, that's passed me by. You know, there's a moment in everyone's life when you realize, like, oh, I'm probably not going to be a professional athlete. Yeah, that came early for me. I was 7. Yeah. You know, I'm not going to be on that hot 30 under the age of 30 list. That's in the rear view now. Sad. But I recently passed a new milestone, which is I'm too old for the zombie apocalypse. I'm telling you, if the zombies come, that's it. I'm out. I just can't do it. Forget it. And, you know, but if you've seen like any zombie movies or The Walking Dead or anything like that, like there's often, you know, that sort of ragtag group of survivors that, you know, that struggle through and make a new life. And, but no, you know, that's not me. But James, you might say, if you remembered my name, there's often an older guy in that group of survivors. And, you know, if we're being honest, like, he often kind of looks like me. Perhaps I do give off a bit of a doomsday prepper vibe, but no, what you're thinking of is a rural beardo with survival skills. I'm very much an urban beardo with none of those things. I spent my entire life as a magazine editor. So, you know, when it comes to like the end of the world, you know, I'm not like top of the list of people you're looking for. Like maybe somebody who's outdoorsy, that'd be good. Somebody with a lot of knowledge of like local flora and fauna, very useful. Somebody with some medical training. It's a very long list before you go, oh, we could really use somebody with a knack for the written word. We're not even at me yet. That's the writer. I'm an editor. Still several more stages down from there before somebody goes, we don't want to be out here dangling a participle, do we? We should have somebody on that. Basically, what I'm trying to say is the only hunting and gathering that I'm doing is in record stores. It's the only place. So before the pandemic, my wife used to travel a fair amount on business. She'd go away sometimes like 2-3 weeks at a time, leave Eric and I at home alone, just the two of us. And, you know, I want to make sure that while she's gone that I'm staying on top of things. And I feel like one of the ways that I can demonstrate my core competence as an adult human is by the state of the house when she returns. I feel like, you know, if everything's in order, then it seems like I've probably taken care of all the other stuff that might have arisen in the last couple of weeks. Eric, I don't need to worry about. He's 10 now, and he's super independent. Now that I think of it, I kind of barely saw him the whole 3 weeks that she was gone. I mean, every once in a while he would just show up and like cry for attention or whatever, but you just shove a cookie in his face, he's fine. Eric's a dog. I don't know if I clarified that earlier. So anyway, I was very concerned about the state of the house. I did briefly consider recreating the house so that it was exactly as it was the very moment that she left. You know, when you go away for a long time and then when you come back, you're immediately transported back to the moment that you left, with the half-drunk glass of water on the counter and the pot that you left soaking in the sink and the phone cord that you forgot that's just sitting on the table taunting you. So I thought it'd be kind of cool to do that, to have the house exactly as it was the moment that she left, but I realized that was going to take a lot of reference photography and, frankly, work. So I ditched that plan. But I did want to put up a good showing, so I set aside 2 days before she got back to get all the stuff done. And I mean, I didn't do 2 days worth of work. I smoke a lot of pot, I take a lot of breaks, but over the course of 2 days, I got all the stuff done. And, you know, it was, if I may say so, immaculate. It was spit spot. It was really like, man, flawless is how I would have described it. So she comes home and she's in the house for approximately 120 seconds. And she appears holding a terracotta pot. And she says, well, this is dead. Now I swear I've been over every inch of the place over the last 2 days. I've never seen this thing before.